we all know, of course, what a robin looks like, but what about an albino robin? Winnipegger Ryan Bullock explained the first time he spotted that bird.
Last spring, actually, is the first time I noticed this all-white bird. I'm sort of an amateur birder, and I was actually driving down the street and just noticed this white bird, so I quite close to the intersection of Dunkirk and St. Patel Road. And so I pulled over safely and walked back and took a really grainy photo with my cell phone of this bird. Tried to identify it and realized it wasn't in any bird book that I had. And then yesterday I was working from home at the dining room table, and I often look out the back window with a cup of coffee when I'm taking a break, and all the various birds are around. And what first caught my attention was that there was an actual robin in the yard, and I thought it's sort of late in the season for them. And that's when I noticed the white robin foraging and sort of searching for worms and things that like the others were, or whatever they're feeding on. This bird distinctively has a black eye. It looks like a robin to me. It's just all white. It has a black eye. It has a sort of orangey, sort of yellowy beak, and then it's pure white from head to toe, belly and everything. There are no blazes of any color, and it's the way it stands, the way it hops around, the way it feeds. It sort of, pecks at the ground and then turns its head to the side. All of these things are kind of consistent with what I observed in the robins that I was hanging out with. It's pure white, like it's an oddball for sure in the yard. So I was really excited, and also, interested as to what kinds of conditions would produce a bird like this.
Well, he should be excited. If you Google white robin, you see words like amazing and rare. That's Ryan Bullock explaining his white robin sightings here in Winnipeg. So what conditions do produce a bird like this? Paula Grieef is a naturalist with Oak Hammock Marsh. Good morning.
Morning.
How common is it to see a white robin in Manitoba?
It is pretty darn rare that you hear about albinos being seen of different species maybe once, twice a year. There's also partial albinos too, so you hear about those a little bit more often than what sounds like an almost complete one. He sounds like it doesn't have a pink eye, which would make it a complete albino. There's all kinds of, it's like a sliding scale.
What makes them white?
Different things, but usually it's genetic abnormality. So something's gone wrong in the genetics of the coating of the color, and it just is not producing the pigment that makes dark.
And so just to revisit what you said, the most rare one is all white with a pink eye, and then This is the next most rare, all white with the black eye.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you look in your backyard often enough, you're going to see juncos or chickadees. It's very common in both juncos and chickadees to see they have a white patch where they shouldn't have a white patch, and that is much more common. And you see that almost every year if you're looking in your backyard enough.
I was having a little chuckle to myself because he was describing the white robin, how it was moving about, among the other robins, and I thought it knows it's special. Does it have any behavioral differences to other robins, or is it just a different color?
It will probably have a few behavioral differences because they really stand out, just like Ryan was saying. They really stand out, and not only to us, but also to predators. So they need to be a little bit more secretive because they don't live necessarily as long as your normal colored robin because they stand out so much.
Do they have different behaviors? Their lifespan's different, you said, but will they behave differently as well?
Well, they might be more secretive because, they do stand out. They also might have to work a little bit harder to attract a mate because they're not quite right, according to all the other robins. They don't look quite right, so a lot of them don't find a mate. Or if they do, they have to work extra hard at it.
Have you ever seen one yourself, Paula?
Not a complete albino. You sent me a picture yesterday, or someone sent me a picture. Not like that. I have seen some that have a little bit of pigment, so they're in that partial. They still have, the red on the breast a little bit, which is kind of yellowy orange, or, Canada geese. We've seen some with just a little bit of black in the face, for instance.
Ryan mentioned he's seen this bird twice now. Should he feed it, take extra care, just enjoy it in nature? What's your advice for that? He's an amateur birder.
I always say enjoy nature. If you feed birds, continue feeding birds. And, at this time of year, it's tricky with the rain and the sleet and the snow and the cold weather and all that. So you can certainly feed birds. You might want to try mealworms, for instance, because robins are an insect-eating kind of bird. So mealworms might be more appealing to them than other things.
So cool. There's got to be something spiritual there when he's seen this bird twice. I'm that kind of person that always looks for that in nature. Very cool. Thanks for telling us about them. I'd never heard of an albino robin, so awesome.
My pleasure.
Paula Grieef is a naturalist with Oak Hammock Marsh. If you want to see pictures and you want to hear more about it, you can go to our website, cbc.ca/Manitoba.
Thank you for watching the CBC Manitoba YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. For the latest breaking news and top stories, download the CBC News app.